Hey, course members, welcome back to another course member live stream. So I'm going to start by starting this course member live stream off by just talking a little bit about wheeling options here and how we can understand these a little bit better. So and by example as well. So let's go ahead and there we go. Let's make sure this is all rolling. Okay, we should be good. So what we're going to do is we're going to just show. Here's the thing. We already know that Tesla's volatility is high, Matterport's volatility is high. We know this. What we like doing when volatility is exceptionally high in the short term is we like to sell contracts. Sell high, buy low. It's just like price, but we do it with volatility as well. And volatility can tend to go up when there are news events, when prices quickly go up and down. And we've seen that happen with Tesla. We've seen that happen with Matterport, Lucid, PayPal. And generally what happens is volatility fades. And this is something that's really important to know anytime you're doing options is generally volatility goes down. That's super important to know because you want volatility to go down if you're an option seller. Because volatility means your potential for profit goes up when you're buying the contracts. That makes the contracts more expensive because your potential for profit is higher, right? If volatility is lower, or volatility is falling, your potential for profit goes down, which makes the options less expensive, which gives the options seller the right to buy those back less expensively. So let me give an example here, and we'll use a little bit of cheaper stock. We'll start with Matterport. The Tesla options can be very, very expensive. So let's go to Matterport here. And we know with Matterport, option contracts are ridiculously expensive right now. And so what I did, for example, is I sold 100 calls on a Matterport. Yesterday, I trimmed a little bit of Matterport. I trimmed about 1,000 shares of Matterport, and I just straight out sold the shares for it was like $240,000 or whatever it was, $250,000, whatever. Today, it's down 4%. Now, today, I'm looking at volatility. Volatility is, let me pull it up here. Let me see. In fact, I'll show you what I see. And you can go to Alpha Query to get a similar set of information. But I'm going to use the Bloomberg terminal, and then I'm going to take a quick little screenshot, and I'll show you what I'm looking at. So let me go to 20. We'll go to 01. Okay. So it's always important to know that right now in the market that we're in, volatility has been substantially declining. And the reason that's important to know is because when you're comparing year over year or even just month over month, you want to know what the trend has been. So that way you have a little bit more of a relative understanding of where volatility is. So I'm going to go grab this right here. So this is the volatility chart that I see on Matterport. And so this right here is the beginning of the year. This shows me, let's see, that is that peak. I'll tell you here. That's February. So this peak over here is February, and everything was booming in February. So that's no surprise that volatility was extreme in February. And I'll open up the live chat in a bit. But then volatility substantially declined at Matterport. And you can kind of see it's been trending up here a little bit. But every time, with the exception of the beginning of the year here in February, where things went a little crazy, every time we get these volatility spikes, the white lines are the 10-day average, by the way. You can see that right here. Let me show you that first. White lines are the 10-day average. Orange lines are the 30-day, 50-day, and then the 100-day is purple. So you obviously there's more volatility here in the with the shorter term averages, which makes sense. But take a look at this. All of the averages or where we sit right now is well above where all of the averages are. So I expect that this volatility graph is probably, look, it might go up a little bit more, but it's probably within the next, the width of this, which the width of that is, I want to say that's about a month. Let me double check here. So the width of that, September 10th to September 28th, it's about 3 weeks. That's about a 3-week peak here. So, and these are even shorter. So within 2 to 3 weeks, we should see volatility at Matterport come back down. Now, it's recently going up because of the metaverse drama, and you've got earnings coming up. So people think, oh, Matterport's going to be a great opportunity for the metaverse. So you got this talk about the metaverse creating volatility. You've got our earnings coming up. These are things that drive volatility up. So volatility's up. So when volatility's up, I don't want to buy options. I want to be a seller of options. And so what I decided to do was I decided to sell calls. And so what I said is I'm going to go in here and I'm going to pick, I think I picked 25, was it? Let's see really quick. I think I picked 25 because I don't really want to get rid of the shares. I did, yeah. I picked $25 for November 19th. But this is 17 days away. So for 17 days, if I make a contract and say I'm willing to sell a certain number of shares of Matterport, then I will get paid for that. I'll get paid a premium for that. Now, in my case, I sold 100 contracts, which every contract is 100 shares. So 100 contracts times 100 is 10,000 shares at $25. It's about $250,000, which probably works out to like 15% of what I have in Matterport. So I'm saying I'm willing to sell it for $25, but I want to be paid for that. And so I got paid $1.67 per share. So that would be like me selling for $26.70. So as long as it sells for less than $26.70 in the next 17 days, I'm good. And since the stock fell, my covered call is actually doing really well right now. But anyway, this stock, for me to lose money on that trade, would have to go to 2670 divided by 2365. This stock would have to go up about 13% in the next 17 days after it's already gone up like 40%. I think those are kind of low odds, so I wanted to place that bet. Now, let's say Matterport runs back over 25. Well, if I wanted to, I really didn't want to lose those Matterport shares. If it's at $25 and I'm worried about losing it at $25, I could just buy a bunch of shares. I could buy the 10,000 shares or whatever, however many contracts I have. And then those are the shares that'll get called out. And I'll still keep the premium, right? And so that's actually what I'm doing on Tesla. See, I have a Tesla sold call on Tesla. I want to say it's a $1,200 sold call, which means if Tesla sells for over $1,200, and I think it's December, which is not so great. It's a little far out because it'll probably be over 1,200 then. Tesla, I don't know where the heck it is. It might be in my Robinhood. But anyway, I have a sold call somewhere on Tesla. And I'm going to lose about, was it 1,000 shares? I think 1,000 shares of Tesla. So I did 10 contracts, 100 shares each. That's 1,000 shares. I would lose 1,000 shares of Tesla if it trades over $1,200. Well, that's a December call that I sold. I got paid a credit for that. And now volatility is so high. Another thing that I could do to kind of milk the ability to keep the shares, but also get more credit is I could sell puts. Now, selling a put is basically promising that I will pay a certain price for the shares. So I just sold a put for Friday for $1,200 because I'm willing to buy the shares right now. I'm willing to buy the shares today to make sure I don't lose those shares on that call contract. I got to figure out where that darn thing is. Let me find that out really quick. Let's see here. I will find it. Pretty sure it's in Robinhood. But anyway, now I'm getting paid for agreeing to buy the shares if they're under $1,200, which I'm happy to do because I want to own these things. Oh, I think I did it in Chase. That would make sense. That's actually exactly where I did it. I'll find out right now. So I'll show you what my strategy here is. So you don't always have to worry about what the contract value is when you're trading, because sometimes you're planning to get exercised on sold positions. Usually when you buy positions, you want to get rid of the contracts before expiration. All right, here we go. Okay, cool. So this is the right account. Give me 1 second. And then I'll unlock chat soon here in a little bit. It's just there's no point to asking questions if I'm not going to look at it right now. Where the heck is it? I gotta find the darn thing. Positions. Here we go. Okay, here we go. Tesla. Okay, cool. So I have a sold call for December 17th, and it's 1,000 shares at $1,200. Well, right now, it looks like I'm probably going to get called out of that thing. And it's funny because the contract value, and I don't care. I got paid, what did I get paid on this? 98 bucks. 98. Oh, wow, that's nice. or that's what it is right now. Hold on, let me look at the transaction. I don't think I got paid that much. Oh yeah, no, I only got paid $25. Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, volatility has skyrocketed since then. So I only got paid $25. So I took about I took a $25,000 credit to make that deal. So I got paid $25,000 to promise somebody that I would sell them shares at $1,200. Well, the darn thing was at like $950 when I made that bet. Obviously, now it's at $1,200. It's like, oh crap, I might lose those shares, right? Now, the contract value itself says it's down a lot, like 300%. But I don't care about that. That means nothing to me unless I'm going to go buy that contract back. That matters zero. What matters is I got a $25,000 credit there, and somebody has the right to buy 1,000 Tesla shares off of me December 17th. So what I can do is now expose myself to buying 1,000 shares that I'm just going to end up selling for $1,200 in December, unless Tesla plummets, right? You know, if I pick up these shares and then Tesla plummets, well, then I got stuck with both, right? Which is okay because I love Tesla. So, and I've got high conviction in the stock. But anyway, what I decided to do is I decided to sell a put for $1,200. So I came in here. We've got a nice open interest over here. The spread for Tesla relatively tight, 15 cents. You know, you start going out, you're going to start seeing larger spreads. Like you go over here, you'll see like a 30-cent spread in the pricing. Not so good. You're not going to get the most ideal pricing. You could set limits to kind of try to squeeze this a little bit in your favor. But anyway, so I sold puts for $1,200 for this Friday. So I'm promising that if Tesla's under $1,200 Friday at close, I will buy 1,000 shares. And I'm going to get paid a credit for making that deal. I got paid a credit of $41. Oh, it looks like I could have gotten a little bit more right now. Oh, well, that's the way it works. I got paid a $41 credit for making that deal, which basically means that I could say I'm buying the shares for $1,200 minus 41 or $11.59, right? So it's kind of like today I'm saying I'm willing to buy the shares for $11.59. But if Tesla trades for over $1,200 on Friday, like even if it trades for $1,201, I'm going to keep a $41,000 credit. And now I have $41,000 on the sold put position. And I have that $25,000 credit on that sold call, right? If I don't end up getting assigned these shares, I could do it again for next week because the volatility is so high. And I could keep milking this and wheeling this. And so the way the wheel works is just a fancy way of saying you're going to sell puts until you get assigned the shares. And then you're going to sell calls. And you do this on sort of a weekly basis. You're going to sell calls and you're going to keep milking the credits until those shares get called away. And if those shares get called away, then you do a put again. And you just do that over and over and over again. So I'm going to play this game with about 1,000 Tesla shares. It's about $1 million. I know it's a big chunk. You could do this on any stock, though. It's just the example that we're using here. Until December. And I'm not going to end up losing any of my shares because I'm just going to buy or have been assigned those extra 1,000 shares by December. So if somebody ends up taking those shares, it's fine. I'm not going to end up losing anything because I'll have gotten paid to buy those shares right before reselling them, basically. And so how do you get screwed on something like this? Well, the way you could get screwed would be you expose your risk to Tesla or your position to Tesla by basically selling a put, getting assigned shares at $1,200. Then let's say Tesla drops to $700, right? Now you're holding another 1,000 shares. Sure, you're not getting called out at $1,200 anymore in December, but now you're holding a larger bag than if you had just kept that sold call, right? But at that point, you could also probably close that sold call out for a nice profit. So this just gives you a little bit of insight. Like when you're selling options, you want to, in my opinion, you focus on volatility and then playing the wheel game if you need to play it. And that's not even necessarily if you need to. Volatility is so high right now. Dude, hold on a sec. Hold on one sec. Okay, good. But anyway, volatility is so high that I want to take advantage of this high volatility and just milk some of these credits, because the amount of premium that you're getting right now is just nutso, and they love it. While at the same time, I'm also going to get rid of call positions that I have, like longer call positions, especially out of the money call stuff, because you can lose money really, really fast on those. So I like calls for shorter term stuff. Still not a big fan of leaps. If you're up and you're profitable on calls, I like taking profits on those, especially if you're getting out of margin. Like, do anything to get out of margin. Don't be a margin. I want to say today I should be at zero margin. I'd have to add it all up right now, but whatever. It's going to be very, very close to zero margin, which is great. And so now I'll probably keep playing puts because, for example, if I end up getting assigned on Friday, I'll be right back into margin, but for like $1 million on this Tesla stuff. But then I'll probably just sell weekly calls because the volatility is so high right now. It's so beautiful for doing this wheel strategy. You could make, I think you could farm some nice yield by playing it a little bit. You don't want to do it with your whole portfolio because you expose yourself to more risk that way, right? And taxation. You always keep that in mind too. One of the reasons I trade, by the way, with like 10 to 20% of my portfolio is I look at all my trade gains because I know I'm going to have to pay taxes on those. I look at all the trading gains that I make on trading, and I want those gains, the 50% that's left after I pay taxes on those, to help me pay my taxes on all my other stuff. It's kind of the reason that I like doing options so much and watching the market all the time. It's just sort of me working to pay taxes on other income. That's just the way I view it, at least. But anyway, so yeah, that's Tesla. And just an example, you could do the same thing with Matterport. You do the same thing with Lucid, whatever, it doesn't matter. It's just worth noting that sometimes when the deals look really, really good, it's like, oh, this is so juicy. Sometimes that's the market saying, we expect the price to go down, right? Obviously, if you can get a big premium on selling a put, it means somebody's willing to pay a big premium for that put, which obviously means there's an expectation that the stock's going to go down. So you got to keep that in mind too. Although sometimes the stock can go down. And this is a funny thing. This is the cool thing about options, and it gets really complicated. But you could have a stock go down slowly in price, but volatility after a certain event plummets even faster. And you could have a sold option contract that actually makes you money, like a sold put contract that makes you money while the stock is going down, which is the opposite. Like if you sold a put, it should only be going up while the price is going up. But if volatility falls so quickly, that goes into your favor. And this is why I love selling contracts too, because selling contracts, you benefit when volatility goes down, and you benefit in time. Theta decay is your friend when you sell contracts. When you have options that you've purchased calls, purchase puts, you are losing money to time because you're basically paying rent for those options. So, all right, let's go ahead and open up questions. Okay, so now let's go ahead and open up the chat. And I'm gonna put slow mode on. So let's do some Q&A. Then we'll do some other stuff. All right, good. So the chat is now open. Feel free to ask questions. I will answer them. All right, bought the real estate course. We get some help about. So if you bought the real estate investing course, you could submit your deal for deal analysis. And once you have written an offer, you could submit it to deal analysis, and we'll check it out. Just follow the template. What's your selling strategy for the crypto market? Do you plan to sell at the top of the market? Well, I mean, everybody plans to sell at the top of the market. Timing it perfectly is very, very difficult, if not impossible. But yeah, I think as inflation goes down, I've maintained this for a while, that if inflation goes down, there's going to be some downside risk to crypto. I still hold AMC. Yep. But not as a fundamental. It's more of a social. Diz chief tech officer mentioned they'd like to make a virtual Disney World. Yep, smart. Can Diz be a good metaverse NFT play? Yeah. I mean, I know I've looked into the Vive thing. I just don't like NFTs because your liquidity goes to crap. Do you think Enphase will go? I mean, I have no idea if Enphase is going to go below that in January. Who knows? We could be in a bear market then, How do you memorize, retain information, convey it so clearly? Just experience repetition or techniques you a course on how to speak. I have no idea. Yeah, I mean, I think the more educated you are on a certain topic, the easier it is to talk about it. If you go to somebody who drives a forklift for a living, and somebody's like, "Hey, can you teach me how the forklift works?" They could probably talk to you all day long about tricks and stuff like that, just because they're so familiar with it, right? I mean, I'm not going to get into Chegg. I don't know if it's oversold or not. I mean, technically, obviously, it's going to be, but aside from options, have you sold any Tesla stock to lock in any gains? No. We learned not to play earnings. I sold my Matterport shares, and now I would like to buy them back heavy. Should I buy them right away or after earnings? I have no idea. I mean, it could be the market could be expecting them to miss, right? And then if they don't miss as bad, they'll go up. Please explain the PayPal trade. It's the same thing. So PayPal's volatility is still very, very high. And so when PayPal's volatility plummets and the stock slowly comes back, my sold puts should be printing tendies. But you have to be patient for the volatility to go down. Otherwise, in the short term, it's not going to work. And it's plummeting already. See, that's the thing. Like if you look at it too short term, and I think some people do this with options, they'll sell like a put contract. And then the very next day, they're like, okay, did I make tendies? And say, oh my gosh, it's upside down. Well, what did volatility do? Volatility sometimes goes up before it comes down. So that's Matterport. Here it is. So this is the PayPal chart. And if you look at the PayPal chart, I sold puts on PayPal, I want to say like right here. And then it ran even more. Maybe it was here. It could have been right here. And then it ran up even. That's probably what it was. I think I sold it over here. And then it ran even more. And then your contract's going to lose value if you sold, right? It sold the contracts. But then as volatility comes back down, you start recouping and gaining again. Yeah, Lucid's definitely up. Kevin, you said you talked to vendors. How did exactly the conversation go? How exactly is that? Well, you just walk up to them and go, hey, how's sales been? Has it been busy or slower? Things like that. Like, for example, I went up to the girl at Peloton. I'm like, hey, when's the Peloton tread coming back? And she's like, oh, we got this treadmill. I don't like it as much. Waiting for it as well. But we got all those lawsuits and stuff. I'm like, yeah, it sucks. We're really looking forward to that one coming back. Was thinking about buying it. This is true. And, then they recalled it, obviously. Anyway, I'm like, hey, how have sales been the last few months? And they're like, oh, it's been good. But she actually said, she's like, September was really, really good, which is funny because September is when like COVID was a little bit more of a concern, right? Sorry, joking. And then she's like, but October was really slow. And I'm like, oh, that's not good. Now, you can't just rely on one person. You really should go to different places, too, to try to corroborate that. And if all the sales reps are like, oh, yeah, October was like crap, well, then you probably know earnings are going to be crap. Anyway, not always, but it helps you a little bit. How would I invest in Lucid now? I would probably wait for the price to come down a lot more. Can you address my question in Renovations Discord regarding a crack in a property I want to put an offer on? Was that the one with the foundation wall? What you really got to do when you have cracks is you got to compare your situation to other houses in the neighborhood. Do they have the same problem? How common is this in the neighborhood? Are you on a cut lot or a fill lot? Fill lots are always going to have more settling than a cut lot. You should talk to foundation experts in the area who can let you know, is this going to be a water intrusion issue? How big of a deal is this? If you wanted to fix it, how much is it going to cost you? Is it necessary to fix it? That's what you should do. Bought 2 courses separately. Want to get bundle 8 with 5 courses. Okay. Sent email. Super buzzy. If you send an email on this, then it'll get taken care of in the email. You could bump it, and I'll ask Kathy to look for it. Why don't you just bump your email now? I'll send a text because I don't know what your email is, but I'll ask Kathy to look for it. Someone is going to email us about upgrading from 2 courses to bundle 8. So basically what you would do is you would buy bundle 8 and then we'd refund the other 2 is how that would work. Okay, good. So Elon said no contract. I made a video on this morning, so it's not a big deal. You could watch the video that I made on that this morning. Sold puts on HUD 8. Ooh. It's so correlated with the price of Bitcoin. I mean, volatility should be nice, honestly, but I don't know that I really care about that one for sold puts because gets a little unpredictable. I will look though. Historic volatility on HUD 8 mining, it's average right now. Do you like DraftKings? DraftKings is pretty average as well. Did I close sold pins put? No, I still have my sold puts. I'm waiting for volatility plummet on that. Volatility has a whole lot more to go down on PayPal and pins. But as I expected, it's already plummeting. It's already doing the U-turn down. Like we expect volatility goes down. That's like, in my opinion, some of the trades, it's like they're almost too easy and no guarantees because they could always go wrong on you. But you have an edge. When volatility goes up, it does not stay up forever. It comes down. So it's like the wind is at your back, you know? All right. I don't really care for PayPal, but I did sell puts on it. I don't mind owning it. And phase previous all-time highs, good using previous all-time good support. Okay, good strategy for RKT. I think I closed RKT. Pretty sure I closed RKT, and I only have the United Wholesale Mortgage sold put left. But yeah, I traded that one pretty quickly. Yeah, PayPal pin still elevated, but coming down already. Lemonade stock up or down? Earnings of four. I have no idea. When do you think we could see a crypto dip and how much? Oh, well, honestly, and I think people will hate me for saying it, but I say it anyway because that's just what I do. I believe that almost all cryptocurrencies are going to become worthless in the future when blockchain technology becomes monopolized. Imagine that blockchain technology is a utility like SoCal Edison, right? It's a utility. You pay a monopolized price for it, and you deal with it. You pay for that technology. So that I think is going to make most blockchains pretty worthless. I think Bitcoin has some staying power as it's seen as sort of a digital reserve and sort of a digital gold, right? But as inflation goes down and blockchain technology becomes monopolized, I think you've got two very large risk factors for cryptocurrency. So Rivian, I don't know. I'll make a video on Rivian with my thoughts. I'll get back to you on that. Thoughts on Opendoor? Yeah, I don't really care for the real estate iBuyers. It's a horrible business. It's very low margin. I don't like it. I'm deep in Tesla. Need to sell off to pay off margin. Let it rise. Well, I mean, if you need to pay off margin, then take some gains. When are you going to evolve to start selling naked calls? Never. Who's someone you look up to? Aristotle. Do you have an updated price target for your? No. Please check out the live stream FAQ on updated price targets. Go to that in Discord. It says live stream FAQ, and you'll see my answer to that. Should we be looking at Valve or Vale? I have no idea. Love that you're getting playing both sides. Yeah, farm the premium. Abso-freaking-lutely. Especially when volatility is high, folks. How would you start a portfolio in a green market? Sold puts on things with high volatility. Will price of new build houses go down as supply chain issues go down? Probably not. Price is not set in real estate by builder cost. It's set by market conditions. I understand that input costs affect profit margin and the necessity to price a certain way, but that's not how the real estate market works. I don't care about cost to build in the market. I care about comps. So if prices are going up with builders, it's because comps are going up. Holding the bag on MVIS. Ooh, yeah, that was a momentum one. Do you see it running again anytime soon? You know, what's going to happen is you're going to end up selling, and the next day Tesla's going to offer to acquire them. You know, that's just sometimes the way it works. I don't know. It's tough. You know, like I got bags on Pinterest, and I look at them, and I'm like, man, maybe one day it'll come up. But I can't kid myself. Like if I see a very good opportunity, I will in a heartbeat dump Pinterest for something else. If I see a good opportunity and I need the money. But I'm not just going to dump it at bottom and do nothing with it. Like I'll wait for an opportunity first, because that way, if there's a really good opportunity and I'm like, I don't want to go into margin, or maybe I'm already in margin, then I might say, okay, I'm going to dump that and buy, right? That might be something I would do. I personally wouldn't go for calls on Lucid, not after by the root, not after we're fizzling out after a news event. Oh, come on. Yeah. PPP forgiveness is easy to apply for, especially if it's under 150K. It's like one page. It's easy. So I'm screwed on my put sell on Volta at $10. Well, I have no idea what Volta is. Volta. No, not necessarily. It's at 964. I mean, you probably got a nice credit for it. $10, you got $1 for it. You probably got $1 for it. I mean, geez, come on, man. Who cares? Even if you get assigned at $10, you're probably still up with the credit. Okay, I talked about crypto sell. Can I buy the real estate course with crypto? I mean, yeah, you can. You just have to email and ask for the wallet for which currency you're going to send. Do you recommend any? I hear eToro is fine, but I can't recommend other international platforms because I just don't know them. 23, and my wife and I are looking to buy a first home in 2023. Why in 2023? What's taking so long? Like, buy it now. What's stopping you from buying it now? Hop to it. How long do we expect Tesla to hold here? I don't know. I mean, it could trade sideways here. It could run again. I think this Elon thing this morning is going to kill some momentum. Yeah, the Neo missed delivery is not good. Do you ever use TD for options? No, not really. Yeah, maybe. I know it's a little more confusing, but I'm pretty sure I do have lectures on how to trade options on TD. So I talked about Robinhood and then TD, I'm pretty sure, but I can't remember now. Yeah, I saw Avis. Don't really care. Do you see volatility? Alpha Query. Just Google that. Alpha Query. Do you think SPY can crash with the FOMC meeting tomorrow? Not really. But, I mean, anything's possible. Do you think GME will reach $200 anytime soon? No, I don't. Will you be adding crypto lectures? Probably not. I'm no way prepared for that. I have a lot of work to do on that. Can you tell me 5 stock I put 20K in that I could use as down payment for? No. But what I usually recommend, and it's not financial advice, is if you're going to try to trade something shorter term and you're just trying to park some money somewhere for a down payment, cash is always a great option if you're definitely going to buy something. But if you really want to be in stocks, then do something like metkevin.com/basket, perhaps. Yeah, I mean, Redfin ran on the iBuyer craze, and that was a mistake. I should have sold Redfin a while ago because the iBuyer stuff is stupid. It's a low margin business. I still think Redfin is a great company from an agency play, but I also like EXP. Yeah, Open Doors just selling off because of the Zillow stuff. Best place to find implied volatility. Alpha Query. We talk about that in the course. How to set up Webull like yours. It's in the course. It is. Somebody just emailed us about that too, and we replied. But it's somewhere in there. It's literally like set up Webull. If you type in Webull, like Command F and type in Webull, you should see it in there. But there is a lecture on specifically that. Did you buy owner's title insurance from 1K on a 7-year-old property from the original owners? No, I would buy it from a title company, not from the owners. Absolutely not. I would buy it from a title company. So wondering your opinion on a $80 call on PTOL. It's not bad. I mean, it's in the money, probably right after the holiday sales and stuff like that. Yeah, I mean, I don't think that's horrible. I wonder what the volatility is right now. Okay, I'm gonna just pause. There's no guarantee I'm gonna be able to get to all these questions because we got to do deal analysis in a moment here. I'm gonna just pause the new chat here. HVG on Piton. Historic volatility on Piton. I don't know Pratik. That depends on the individual broker. But regarding this Piton call, a little elevated right now. I probably wouldn't be buying a call right now. I'd wait for volatility to come down a little bit. But yeah, I mean, this just matters for tax purposes. I mean, I think you could probably call your broker and determine that. Are you against holding 10% margin? Because I'm at 30% margin even with this increase. Should I sell all or most? I mean, it's up to you, but no, I think y'all know my thoughts on margin. No thoughts on Polestar. Reason I'm asking selling at the top of crypto market is because I'm expecting an end of the year, next year crypto rally. Do you expect this? I can picture that, especially if inflation concerns stick around. But if they go away, then that's going to hurt a little bit. Wheel with dividend stocks? I mean, you're talking low volatility stocks. It's probably pretty boring. Yeah, I mean, thanks, Matt. Yeah, I mean, some of the predictions aren't too difficult to make on BTC, but there are a lot of folks who are much more bullish than I am, and I don't really care about other people's predictions. I care about my own and my rationale. I'll compare to other people's reasons, but if they're just going to pull out the stock to flow model, I don't really care. I think that's been very lucky since 2019, and I don't believe it'll last. Do you know why Open Doors down so much more than Zillow? No, it's just the Zillow news. It's my understanding. If I sell stocks for a gain and then take the gain and stick it into renovation, I'll see, will I get dodged? You're not going to dodge your taxes, man. You're going to pay taxes. If you have the opportunity to buy Rivian pre-IPO, would you consider it? Maybe. Yeah, if you pre-ordered the car, which I did, you get some shares. I'll determine that. Yeah, I don't know what you mean with the dogs and cats here, but I'm glad you're somewhat up there. It looks like on your portfolio. Elon, take it. Token being the official currency of Mars. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I talk about some of the exit strategy. I usually just don't like exiting, unless you went into a position as a short-term trade. Those are good things. This hair is bothering me. If you went into something as a short-term trade, there we go. That's better. Then exit when you make money. You know. No, just Matterport for Metaverse. Have you ever considered buying VGX for the extra yield? Not really. I mean, maybe I'd consider. I don't know. How will you trade with 25K? I mean, the same thing that I do. There's no difference. Do you have a spreadsheet to help with options? Working out the numbers on a spreadsheet helps me understand how things work. Yes, there are many spreadsheets on options in the chat. Please don't disable the chat. You prevent course members the ability to ask questions who come later. It's not my fault. If you want to ask a question, come early. And if you miss it, then ask in Discord. But there's no point. There's literally 0 point to the chat being open when right now it's 8:31 and I'm at 8:15 in questions. I got 16 minutes of questions ahead of me, or maybe like 13 minutes ahead of me. I'm not even going to get through those. What's the point of people wasting their time writing questions? It's not going to get anywhere. So you just have to come earlier. Or tag me in Discord. Would you do more political videos? Maybe. Yeah, I mean, if there's something I feel passionate about, sure. Kevin, I'm in margin affirm 22%. Should I close that out? Myself. I don't exactly know what you mean here, but I think y'all know what my thoughts are on margin. I already answered this question. Start investing with real estate, in my opinion. Good idea to short car. Let's see. I mean, you get some of these things that just momentum up so fast that I probably wouldn't. I probably wouldn't. Made a video on the Elon thing, so you can check that out. No, if you take out a loan, you don't get taxed. Option market is a great way to read sentiment. I agree with you. Yes, between that and TA, you can get a good feel. I completely agree. If you were in a margin, would you be selling individual stocks? Probably not. I think actually more like certainly not. I'd keep my stuff. Do you think? And now I'm basically out of margin, which is cool. So I'm glad I'm at that place again. Do you think Zillow is a good buy at this price? I don't know. The iBuyers, I've already talked about this a little bit, so we're not going to talk about that again. Yeah, sure. You could sell a call and put in one move. Absolutely. Yes, a lot of the real estate content is based on fundamentals and principles that are applicable across the world. Yep. QuantumScape. I don't like QuantumScape. I think it's a hype stock. And show me an actual product and sales, and then I'll be interested. Sold puts on Chegg for volatility being high. Yeah, I mean, today would be the way to do it. If you were bullish on Chegg, yeah. I mean, volatility is probably insane right now. It's probably the highest it's ever been. I wonder if it's even higher than where it was at the beginning of the pandemic. That would be interesting to see. Oh, it's so high right now. It's at 324. 100-day moving average is 102. 30 days 180. Let me go out to May of 2020. Oh, yeah. Oh, my gosh. Wow. During the recession, the pandemic, volatility was at 150. Now it's at 324. Holy smokes. Holy smokes. Oh, down 45%. It keeps falling. That's interesting. Oh, what destruction. What's the price? $33. Oh my gosh, it's almost fallen to the level of where it was in the recession. That's crazy. Yeah, let's look at what the options are like. Oh my goodness. 17-day option contract up 8,000%. If I sell a put, I can't even go lower than 35. That's crazy. 30 is the lowest you can go. 17-day contract. It's going to get you about 35 minus 107. It's the current price differential. And no, sorry. Hold on. 3.4. I'm going to minus it from here. 112. Because I'm already upside down by that if I sold this put, right? So divided by 35. 6.5%. 6.5% for 17 days. It's not bad. I mean, I don't know anything about the stocks. I probably wouldn't do it, but. Anyway. All right. Let's go do a deal analysis. Come back to some other Q&A. So I'll do a real estate analysis, then I'll do more Q&A. So we did Groans. Okay, Brian. No buts or abnormalities. Single family. Why do you think it's a good deal? It'll be my first property. Property was under contract between 232 likely. Was just under contract between 230 most likely, but fell through. I'm getting it for 226. It's a good deal for me personally because the backyard is 10 feet from the tennis academy I work at. Currently live at my parents' 40 minutes away, so this property will aid my career. Solid connections, maybe interested in moving. Outside of that, everything in the house seems updated. Okay, cool. That does sound really cool, by the way. Quality of life will skyrocket. That's so cool. Yeah, it is right out your back door, basically. Oh, that's awesome. So this is... When was this thing built? Year. Can't figure out when this darn thing was built. It looks pretty new. I mean, it was certainly built past the 90s, early 2000s. Yeah, it's pretty move and ready. Scraped ceiling. I don't see any fire sprinklers. So probably 90s then. Nicely remodeled though. They staged it. Oh, this is a 90s. Yeah, the kitchen and that linoleum. It's 90s. You can update those cabinets very nicely. Paint them gray or something to kind of go with the theme of the house. Gosh, they did a beautiful job on everything but the kitchen. Yeah, so cool with the snow out there. Yeah, cool. 226. What, did you already buy it? I'm getting it for 226. Yeah, it looks like it already closed. When did it close? It says it closed in June. Whatever. You only give me one comp. A 245 comp. That's about 150 square feet more than yours. Yeah, I mean, my guess is you're probably not going to get much of a discount on it because it's relatively move-in ready with the exception of the kitchen. I mean, maybe if you paint the cabinets, the darn thing, you'd get like a 10 grand bump on the value of the place and you paint the cabinets for 3 grand or something like that. Like that's your sole opportunity there. But otherwise the place is beautiful. It's probably, I mean, maybe you're getting a little bit of a discount too because it fell out of escrow. But you only give me one column. There should be more. But just looking at it, it doesn't look like it has any buts. It looks like a beautiful place. You've got it in great shape. Townhouse. You're in the middle of the way, middle of the road. That's fine. I don't mind it. I think for your situation, it's perfect. I wanted to also just quickly, because I haven't done this in a while. Really quick, I'm going to do one of these just because it's been quite a while since I've done this. We're going to do, this is where we look at one person's YouTube. I'm going to get one out of the way instead of trying to do two. We look at one person's YouTube. Submitting my channel for an audit. Okay, you have a video about me. So we're at 46.52 in. Oh, I forgot to mention to the person we did the deal analysis on. Hold on. Checked yours out at about 42 minutes in. Oh, I think you posted another deal. Hold on a sec. Here's the house I'm in escrow on. Yeah, that's the one you're in escrow on. 16. Oh, you didn't give me the one that you were in escrow on. Oh, that's confusing. Oh, here's yours. Oh, interesting. Oh, wow. Okay. Interesting. Wait, so why is yours a 2-bedroom? Oh, I don't like that. 2-bedroom model, not anywhere near as updated as the other ones. That 2-bedroom model is a little confusing because the other ones are 3 bedrooms. I don't love that as much. So was there like something that was converted as to, okay, that's a problem. Being 2 bedrooms is a problem. I don't know if it's the loft that's just open here or what it is, but that's a little bit of an issue, I think. And so that could potentially hurt you. Yeah, make sure, by the way, when you submit these, use the deal analysis template ideally and throw the comps in there. Otherwise Kevin gets confused. All right. So now we can go jump on over and then we'll do a little bit more Q&A. Okay, where is it? YouTube. Here we go. Okay. So this is the channel. I want to look at your recent videos. All right, so what do we got here? So you last posted 2 weeks ago. You got to post a lot more. Look at that. You got 1,000 views on that. That's awesome. Because the previous videos here were like 20 views, right? So look at that. 2 weeks ago, you got 1,000 views, and then you stopped posting? Come on, man. You should have had another video like ASAP.
For many, America is New York, San Francisco, and Hollywood. Today, we have come to the real America, the city of Brewton in Alabama.
This is awesome. I mean, I love the voiceover and stuff like that. You're on the gimbal. The real story of the richest small town in America. That's interesting.
Yeah, your heart is a song.
Brewton.
affecting Bruton citizens working hard. They are cutting wood to earn money.
They would have
Put a lot of effort into this thing. Yeah, I mean, I think this is super
Jobs
cool. I think you did a great job. I mean, I don't know what I could say here. I think maybe a little bit of color grading. I think you're probably shooting raw and then trying to color grade afterwards. I wouldn't go through that effort. But you clearly thought this out very well. The voiceovers are great. The B-rolls are amazing. I mean, this is very nice.
To go to church in Alabama and most places in this nation.
I think the volume is a little higher and lower in certain places, so you could equalize a little bit more. But that's interesting. That was very good. Let me see something maybe more normal here.
你好, Tao Zichong. It means hello, investors. You may say, your Chinese is so good. How and where did you learn Chinese? And there is no secret from you guys. Google Translate.
So a little high on the music volume. I would, let me see this one here.
A few weeks ago, I invested in a suit manufacturer. I asked them what the stock options were, and they said chicken or vegetable. I hope you like this silly options trading joke, guys. But the truth is that the options trading video.
I mean, I kind of like it. I think you just need to post more. I think that's your problem. You know, I think you've got some like clever edits, and I would post more relevant stuff to what's happening in the news. Comment on Tesla. Comment on Elon today. Make a Tesla video today. Make a sheep video. You know, hop on it. So yeah, okay, good. Let's do a few more questions here. So let's see here. When will InsurTech pop off? I don't know. Let's see. Bitcoin price prediction using log regression. Yeah, okay. Just shorted car. Oh my gosh. I have enough in stocks. I mean, yeah. Can Polestar maybe? I've already answered this. I don't have any comments on Polestar right now. I have enough in stocks to pay off my student loans that are at 5%. Worth selling my stocks pay off. I like getting rid of loan debt because then you can buy real estate. Thoughts on buy amount for Voyager Digital? I like Voyager Digital. I just reduced my exposure to get some margin down. I answered the crypto sale. Do you think we should stay away from Florida real estate market because of rising water levels? I mean, I think it depends on how severe you think that actually will be, how close to the coast you are. You know, if I was even 5 minutes inland, I don't know if I would be so worried. But yeah, I mean, longer term, sure, that could be a concern. I answered the Redfin question. Microsoft is planning future metaverse apps for Xbox. I believe it. Still don't invest in Microsoft. It's been doing very well, though. Would you invest in the NASDAQ or Kathy's ARK? I don't know, probably NASDAQ, if I had to pick. Do you know anything about student loan forgiveness? I mean, Kathy's good, too. It just depends what my goals were. You know, pure growth. Would I be willing to sit through the volatility, right? Selling a firm put's reasonable. I wonder how the volatility is right now. Let me see. And where are we sitting right now? I wouldn't right now. The volatility is very low on a firm right now. It's like plummeted. Zos. Nope, don't like it. Made a video on them before. You could probably look that up on YouTube. Me, Kevin, XOS. Already own primary residence and have $1,200 extra a month. Use it to pay student debt. First, take off my second mortgage and buy investment property. Rent this one and buy. I mean, I like the idea of you renting and buying another one. That's just me, though. Would you buy options on the actual stock on MAT? It's a momentum stock, so you have to be very careful with that one. How likely do you think it is that the real estate market, the bubble will crash? Low. Less than 10%. Thoughts on Airbnb and how you see that in the short or long? I'm positive. I think the insane yields that people are getting will compress substantially. But I think there's still good going to be had. So Okay, cool. If you have more questions, come back tomorrow, ask early or ask in Discord. I've gone through all the questions, deal analysis, YouTube analysis. We did a lot, and started off with a lecture on options. So it was good. All right, folks, thanks so much for being here. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.